Welcome, everyone. We are back with an SJG hand review. This is episode 5. Joining me today, we've got Kevin Kane and Jason Erdula. Kevin Kane, who is Kevin Kane on the SJG server, Jason Erdula, who is Jay Dizzler, and I am SetSpike on the server. So welcome, Kevin. This is your first time. Glad to have you. And any initial thoughts on
Oh no, I'm gonna see how much I align with you guys on my thought process when I'm playing.
So we're gonna be reviewing 5 hands. I picked 5 hands from pretty way back in the day. I think we're talking like in the August time frame here. So hopefully nobody remembers these hands. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. And again, I'm going to leave all the analysis up to J2 and Kevin here, as I've seen how these hands play out. All right, so let's get started. Here we go. All right, we've got a full table.
Who do we got?
And let's get this started, and we'll just get the pre-flop action going. All right. Okay, so it looks like we've got full table. We've got an initial raise to 3 by Bruce. And so we've got 3 people going to the flop: myself, Bruce, and these nuts. So
so flop is bad for Bruce.
Yeah.
Flop is very bad. These nuts and you are capped, so this is far closer to your range, what I would expect you to have.
My range, given where I'm sitting.
But also these nuts. I mean, he could certainly have 10 jack or.
So I actually wanted to ask Kevin a few questions. One, it sounds like you study GTO, right? Yeah. And did you take any poker coaching classes?
So back in the day when I was playing a lot there, I had joined like an online training kind of forum, and then of course there's 2+2. And more recently I'd say I more or less kind of follow some of the hand analysis that Doug Polk especially did. So yes, sort of that balancing. So I'm always just thinking from a balance standpoint in my hands. Like,
yeah, so
half the time I have a hand,
noticed
half
that.
the time I'm just bluffing. Like,
yeah,
I'm just
well, I noticed that about
which
you.
Which are my best hands to be betting and that are good, and which are my best hands to be betting that are bad, right? So
yeah, I noticed that about you. And I think we talked maybe earlier this year, and you were talking about combinations, and you were one of the first people on the site that talked combos with me.
Yeah.
I took poker coaching with Jonathan Little for a year.
Oh,
and
yes.
That's when I started picking up that kind of stuff. I agree with Kevin. So this is not a good flop for an early position opening range to 6x, right? That's what Bruce did, and that's what he's saying. He has nowhere near the nut advantage on this flop, right? He can have pocket 9s, pocket 8s, but the only people with the actual nut advantages who have like the strong draws and the actual nuts of 6-7 could be SetSpike or D's nuts.
No, yep. but Bruce could certainly still have a couple bluffing hands or hands that like were kind of bluffs pre-flop that actually hit really hard, like 9-8. But there's only 2 combinations of 9-8 suited left.
Yep.
And there's no flush draw.
That's really good.
A straight draw. But he could still have aces, kings, queens, jacks.
Yep, absolutely. All right, let's see how it plays out.
Doesn't he have 2 combos? 9-8 clubs, 9-8 diamonds though?
Yeah, there's 2 pairs of 9-8 suited that he could have.
Yeah. All right. So
he bet big.
Bruce goes for basically 2/3 pot on the off the flop here. I get out.
Called.
I get out, and D's calls him, and then Bruce goes in for half pot, and
so I don't. Why are we going half?
Why are we continuing at all? This question.
Yeah, I don't know why Bruce is continuing.
Well, could he just have pocket 6s here?
Could he?
I don't know.
No,
Well,
I don't think he does.
Okay.
Because he's betting into he's betting into two players with inside straight draw and third. There's two overs and an inside straight draw. So I don't think he has sixes.
Okay.
He doesn't have flush draw. I think he got overly ambitious with aces or kings.
Okay.
Now,
Now, as you know,
I actually slightly
Jay.
disagree. I think he can. If I don't know, Bruce is under the gun range, and we can't just assume he's
Right.
following a GTO chart. He could have sixes here and tried to c-bet with sixes, and then got there by accident. But in general, that's a bad card for his under the gun range. DZ has the only Jack 10, but Bruce has some Jack 10 suited. But in general, even if you have Jack 10, you should be checking here and allowing the person who cold called you to bet this, I think.
He could also have tens.
That was my first thought, is pocket tens.
He could also have pocket tens.
Yeah. All right.
But
So
I
as you
think
know,
you
we only
slow
show
down. I
hand-
think you slow down with some other hands.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
But maybe he's just going for. I mean, there are a lot of aces, kings, queens, like pocket aces, kings, queens. So yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
As
So
you know,
the
we only
question
show
now
hands
is,
that
what are you
go to a
calling?
showdown here.
What do you?
So
What is
obviously
Bruce
we know
calling with?
that Bruce is going to call.
What is-
So
yeah, I know. We know Bruce is going to call. The question is, what is he going to call with? Like, if you had played Bruce's hand this way, what are you calling with?
for me, yeah, I'm
Yeah.
calling with any overpair at this point, over a 9.
I think I'm only continuing with ace, king of spades, ace, queen of spades, pocket tens. I think in general, and you got to be full. I don't think these is turning a queen 10 here into a bluff. But
Right.
if you have them in his history, then you can continue on with overpairs. But generally, I personally am folding aces, kings, and queens.
Right. So I agree. I think there's too many overpairs to be calling with. I think you're over calling. If you call with all your aces, all your pocket kings, all your pocket queens, all your pocket jacks, all your pocket tens, you're calling way too much here. So which are the best ones? Probably your pocket tens. That's the funny thing about this hand. I would probably call pocket tens and fold pocket queens. Right?
But what about two aces that are red where you don't block the spades? And it's possible.
So that's a good question. Yeah, two red. Maybe I call the red aces, the red kings. I fold all queens and I call all pocket tens. I fold all jacks.
I was thinking something like that. I think I'm folding everything, all over pairs except for tens, but I'm the nittiest on the side, I think.
That's interesting.
Now there is a chance he has something crazy like 9-8 suited. There's two of those.
Yeah.
I think you call with those. So you call it, that's two hands, and then we got the tens, that's 6 more hands, so that's 8 hands, and then the red aces and kings, that's probably about 12 hands. Yeah, that's probably about right.
All right, so
And then if you have a six.
you guys have thrown a lot of stuff out there. I'm going to put you
Okay.
guys on the. I'm going to put you guys on the spot. What is
These nuts has a
what are the
straight.
hands? Give me the hands.
These nuts has 6-5 or has like 6-5 or 8-6 or something
All right, so
strange.
you
like
think
that.
he's got the straight? Okay.
I think
I don't
he has
wanna
middle
put him on-
pair, two pair or a straight. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I want to say 2 pair plus, but D's also has been known to do this with queen 10 of spades, but that's only one combo. But the only thing I can say is Bruce probably capped to 1 pair. D's probably 2 pair plus. That's the
Yeah.
only thing I can probably say. Yeah.
All right. Let's check it out.
Wow, jacks.
What is going on? Wow. What a value bet. That's more money than we would have made with jacks, Kevin.
Yeah.
You know, I think this is the best sound bet ever. Okay, this is what you need. You need me saying, I'm calling with tens and I'm folding queens, and then you show this. This is ridiculous.
You know what? I couldn't have set this hand up perfectly at all based on.
Wow.
So
Jacks was so outside my expectation.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That is right in the middle. I said 2 pair plus only,
Yeah.
right? And maybe one combo queen of 10 of spades.
So interesting hand. I think, I would have played it the same way that Diz did. And again, I'm more of an aggressive player. So I think, yeah, if I were Bruce, yeah, I would be calling with 10s and higher, and he did, and unfortunately he lost, but this is exactly, he played it exactly how I played it, and yeah, just unfortunately.
Well,
Why not
here's
just
the-
call it down?
That's the thing. That's why I don't like, I mean, Diz's jacks turned out to be correct in this spot, but in general, he's turning his jacks into a bluff here, because in
Yes.
general, the only hand Bruce is going to be calling him with is 10s, and then if he's like
Tens.
you, bigger pairs, right?
So
What's he hoping to get
he's
value
losing
from?
to
Aces?
all aces, kings, queens.
Well,
He's trying to get value from ace nine, or what?
Beating
What's he trying to
tens.
get value
if you're
from?
Diz, I think if you're Diz and you think maybe Bruce let out on the flop with ace king, ace queen as a continuation
Right.
bet. And then as he tried to continue that, so maybe now Diz thinks that Bruce has got ace king, ace queen of spades, and he doesn't want him to catch the flush. I understand his raise on the turn.
Well,
You
you
know-
should let him barrel then if he only has two ace high.
Well,
I
I
think.
mean, Diz just doesn't want him to catch. And so it's like, hey, I'm just going to try and win this size
Right.
pot right now versus allowing him to catch. So
That's like old school versus modern thinking, right? Old school is like, I want to get him to fold so he doesn't catch. Modern thinking is I'm going to get max value with the hand
Yep.
that I have, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Good hand. Good hand. All right.
Sorry, I'm eating.
Also, quick question. Oh, but also notice though, he has the jack of spades.
Yep.
So he's got a blocker to the chance
Yep.
that Bruce has
He
a
is
bluff.
reducing the number of spade outs. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Good hand.
Wow.
By the way, if I have jacks, I'm always three betting, just so you guys know. I'm three betting jacks 100% of the time.
I'm going to add
So-
that to the, I'm going to
Free flop.
add that to the video notes.
Put it in the notes. Put it in the notes.
I think that's standard.
All right, we got a full table here again. We got Diz on the button and Simone and Joe in the blinds. J2, you raised to 150 here. Waga's in for calls.
Whoa. This is the first time I'm in a hand.
Yeah.
In our first any episode.
I haven't been in any.
You got to play more, Kevin.
I wasn't playing a whole lot in August, actually. Yeah.
All righty. So we go to a flop with three people. So nothing, pretty connected board. So
I'm so nervous.
But Jay Dizzle he led.
yep. Let's see.
This is a decent flop for him.
All right. So here, I'll stop it right there with the initial bets on the flop.
Yeah. This seems standard.
Yep.
Maybe it's a kind of a big bet on the flop though. It feels kind of big.
So it looks like a standard continuation bet for J2 based that since he raised.
Yeah.
Waga called, and then Chris comes in with effectively a 4x raise.
This is actually bigger than I do now. I usually continue for 250 or less on this flop. I think my main reason here was Waga Papa. I thought I could exploit him with my better hands. I think I can extract a few more percentage points of value against Waga. That's the reason I chose that size.
So
Okay, but Simone raise check.
and so,
Yeah, so
and
it
let's
does-
notice. So
it is a
Chris,
scary- it
Chris
is
came
not a
in with the check
comfortable
raise
flop.
here.
it's not a comfortable flop because anyone with a queen or a jack or two hearts has very nice drawing odds. So you do actually want to bump it up probably if you have a big hand.
Yeah.
Big hands you
very
could
connected
have
board.
are pocket tens, pocket nines, pocket kings. You could have queen jack suited.
I mean,
Yeah,
just
you
a
could queen jack
ton of options.
Yeah, there's a lot of huge hands you could have. So
Yeah.
because there's so many, there's like this huge bundle of very strong hands. Let's see, there's 9. There's about 14 like really crushing strong hands that I would be continue betting. So we need like a solid 25 bluffing hands.
All right. Well, let's
So
see how
all your heart draws, all
Yeah.
your queens and all your
all your heart
jacks.
draws, all queen. Yeah. All right. Let's see how it plays out.
So now you
J2
fold all your queens, jacks, and heart draws,
J2
unless
folds.
they're
So,
the nuts heart draws.
and Waga continues and makes the call.
I don't. Do we like this call? How much does he have behind him?
Well, actually, I can't see what we have. Well, let me scroll it back a little. So he's got 54 He's got 54
and it's
behind.
10 more.
So effectively, in like almost 20% of his remaining stack here that he's to call it off.
So so this is what it feels weird, because if you have a hand, if you have a made hand, let's say you happen to have pocket nines, right? Which he could have. Or you happen to have queen jack. Don't you just want to get it all in now?
Looking at Simone's remaining stack, I do.
Yeah.
So
It's a great
maybe-
shove spot.
So
It's a great pot
does it-
size shove spot.
does it sound like Waga's probably got 2 hearts?
He's
But-
basically
but why
capping
call
himself
down?
to a
Because
draw.
you're going to have to call the turn if a heart doesn't come.
Hmm.
And if a heart comes, you might lose action.
Yeah.
So there's no reason not to shove.
So Kevin's saying, if you're gonna continue here, you should be shoving your entire range.
Yeah, I
Right.
see what he's saying. Yep.
How about something where you have the entire board completely locked up, like Jack, Queen of Hearts, and you just want Simone to just blast off? I don't know.
Okay, if you have queen jack of hearts. But even then, don't you want to push any heart draws out, like ace heart, king of hearts?
Well, if I'm Waga and I had Queen Jack here, I would absolutely be calling.
Just,
I'm jamming though. It's not that I don't know if I'm calling, but okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Maybe queen jack of hearts.
I'm jamming. I'm personally jamming any value and folding everything else.
Okay.
Oh, wait, but if you're going to jam with value, you have to jam with a
Is this
draw.
where
You have to have a bluff if you're going to jam.
Yeah.
I see? That's GTO balance, but against. Sorry, Chris. Okay, against people I think that are slightly unbalanced, like Chris or Waga Papa, I switch to exploitative play, right?
Okay,
Where I think in the long term, I'll just make more money if I fold my bad hands and shove. Because now if I shove, he's not going to be like, oh. But I could be making more money if I do shove here with like ace jack of hearts a lot of the time, because then they have to pay me off when I have the queen jack.
Yeah.
But
here's why I don't do that. It's not because it's not good. It probably is very good. It's because I don't know the players well enough to actually know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I can't exploit them because I don't really know what they're doing.
See,
don't
I
have that
wish-
much history, and I'm probably, on my like third old fashioned. And so I'm just trying to balance my range and hope it works out.
I wish there were more than 250 characters of notes on each player that I can add, because I'm capped out on all my notes on everybody that I have to keep erasing things. It's so annoying.
You just need to keep your own
I want to
database.
see what you have on me. All right.
I'll show you.
All right, let's go.
It's balanced.
So Chris now puts in a 1/3 bet, 1/3 pot with a queen now hitting the board. And
Someone has a heart draw and someone has a jack. Why you just call? Interesting.
I think you're spot on. I think one has a heart draw, one has a jack, and
Waga Papa, Kevin, do you know Waga's tendencies at
No.
all? He doesn't believe at all that you can figure out someone's hand post flop at all. He thinks if no one 3-bets or 4-bets, anybody could have anything. That's his theory.
Okay.
So he doesn't know where he's at all right now. I think Chris is
I think he has a heart draw.
yeah, I don't think I think he didn't like the queen. That bet sizing makes me think he doesn't like the
Right.
queen. I think he would
Maybe
just
has
jam with
something
any
like,
jack.
you know what? He could have like king 9.
Mhm.
He could have king 9.
I think he flopped 2 pair. That's what I think he did.
Yeah, he flopped 2 pair, and I think Waga's on a heart draw.
Yeah.
I think Waga still doesn't know where he's at. Waga can have
Right.
king 5 right here. He's a
Right.
crazy person.
all right, let's go to the river. River's a 10. And
9?
Chris, who had
Okay.
26
Okay.
26
Okay.
left.
Right now, I'm jamming. I don't know what Waga has. I'm 100% putting all my chips in right now.
If you're Chris, okay.
I'm injuring my finger slamming the all-in button because this feels like king 9 at this point. This feels
Yeah,
like king
I
9.
mean, that 10 could not have helped you.
Okay.
But the 10 only helps Waga, so he could represent, he flopped 9s. He flopped 10 queen. He flopped 10-10. He flopped king 10. I don't think this helps Simeon. So yeah.
Well, it's interesting.
I'm
It's
bluffing.
interesting
I'm
you
bluffing
say that.
100%. Anything I limped, I'm bluffing right now. If I have a heart draw, I'm bluffing. It's a great bluff if you have a heart draw.
It's interesting
the
you
one
say
hand
that
you could have-
because Chris only puts in 1/3 of his remaining stack on this bet.
Yeah, standard 1/6 bet here.
Now
It's
he could be
interesting you say that
leveling. He could be like trying to get you to bluff, but
I
like, he
mean,
would
Chris
do that to
generally
me.
does that with
this is
checks.
this is begging for a call.
He does it for as a blocker sometimes. But
Yeah.
yeah, you know,
This is
actually,
it feels like a blocker bet.
yeah.
All right.
So
So
what
we
are you just
obviously we know
calling
what
with? I'm
Wagga
just calling
calls
with
or
jacks
raises
now.
here because this goes to a showdown.
Raise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's pause it. Kevin,
It's
what
another
hands
10.
do you fold here now?
With what? King 9, I fold.
What is Chris betting that he can call with, and what can he raise with?
The problem is it's only what, $17 into like
Yeah.
a $91, $92 pot. So you
Yeah.
basically have to call with like 80% of your hands.
Right. Exactly. You have to call with the bottom
almost
of your
everything.
range.
So what's the worst hand? What
I
are
think the only
worst
thing
20% of
he
hands?
has to fold is King 9.
King 9, I fold.
All your missed hearts, right?
All your
All
missed
your missed
hearts.
heart draws.
That covers a lot of it. I think you have to call with any king, maybe.
That's why I jam earlier, because I don't want to get into this spot. This is a tough spot.
This is a very tough spot. Why?
For me, all my hearts are already gone. I would have jammed them all earlier.
Yeah.
Maybe if I had like an ace 2 of hearts, or like some where I was trying to play like just the high card. But any other heart draw, I've already got it all in. So this is a tough spot. I think you got to call with basically everything except for King 9.
All right.
I think
Let's see.
I think you do too. He's a spaz. Waga's a spaz.
Let's
too.
see it.
It's just such an underbluff spot. Yeah, there's King 10. Ace King. Interesting. Why didn't he 3-bet that pre-flop?
Well, he did check raise. He did check raise
On the flop.
on the flop. It's just unfortunate for Chris that Wagga hit 2 pair on that same flop. So you see bet. If you remember, you see bet. Wagga just called, and Chris went in for the check raise, and he just ran into a monster.
But see, almost everything Kevin said was correct here, right? The 10 pretty much only helps Waga's range, right? Wagga would have been better off just jamming flop already, right? Because the turn, all of a sudden, none of them know where they're at.
Yeah.
And he would have got max value on the flop. That was weird.
Well, I mean, the hand turned out almost exactly the same. He just, Wagga just didn't get the last 50 cents from Chris by not jamming. So
if Chris 3-bets a standard amount pre-flop, he might just isolate me, though. That's something he might have wanted to consider.
yeah, but a 3-bet pre-flop, I don't think Wagga back in August was going to fold this.
Well, that's fine. You're getting more money in when you're ahead.
You're getting good value against a dominated hand.
Yeah,
because that's a good squeeze spot, right? You're on your small blind. You've got a mid range pre-flop raise from, what is that, hijack or something? No. Yeah.
I opened for middle.
And then you get a caller in the cutoff or whatever.
in the cutoff.
Yeah, you should just be betting there. So I'm betting all the ace kings 3-betting, and I'm also gonna throw in bluffs like 6-7 suited or ace 5 suited, ace 4 suited.
You can see bet
I'm gonna
if you
I'm gonna
3-bet
bet those.
If you
also.
3-bet pre-flop, you can continue on that flop 100% of the time with your entire range. And I don't like Chris's check raise with the ace king personally.
Yeah. All right. Next hand. Another full table.
Open limping.
Yep, bunch of limpers.
Bruce.
Bruce goes to 3.
6x.
And we get a bunch of calls. So we got 4 people. We got 4 folks going to the flop.
I miss Wagga Papa so much.
Okay. Queen 2-2 board with 4 folks in. And
Donk bet.
Joe. Okay,
Okay, so who
Stop
raised
right
it
there.
pre-flop?
Bruce.
Bruce raised it pre-flop?
Bruce raised pre-flop.
Everybody
And then-
limped in. Bruce raised it to 3. And now Joanne is leading flop.
I want nothing to do with this hand anymore.
So
It's
Joe
so
donks out.
non-standard.
Joe donks out. we got
There's
Eric.
a 2.
Eric,
There's a
who,
2.
who cold called, and then Bruce, the pre-flop raiser, who cold calls as well.
Nobody should have a deuce in this spot.
No, why not?
Who?
Joanna can.
What, limp calling with a deuce
Under
out
the
of
gun?
position?
Under the gun, she's got a 2.
She
I'm not saying
limp called.
She could.
She could. Bruce is the only one who definitely cannot have a deuce. That's for sure. I mean,
Yes.
he could have. No.
I agree. He can't have it too. He shouldn't.
All right.
That's okay, but Joanna's leads here.
But why are you
he-
leading?
She leads flush draws and queens a lot here.
Oh, that's just her. That's just the tendency.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. We
Yeah,
have
I
a
think
lot
if
of
you've
a lot
played
of
with
people who
Joe
try to
enough-
lead flop.
If you've played with Joe enough, I think you'll see that she will donk bet if she touches the board.
Joanna, a donk bet is not an insult, by the way. It just
Yeah,
means
donk
you're
bet is
taking
not an insult.
you're just taking the
means
lead.
that you're not letting the pre-flop aggressor go in turn. So yeah, that's
So okay, but here I have a question then. If you lead all your flush draws,
Yeah,
Mhm.
right, then you can't trap.
correct.
So in that case, you should have some flush draws that you check and some that you bet.
There was a seminar on donk betting that I watched, and it says that, but not in this spot, but where the range hits your range better, you can be leading at paired boards like this. You can be leading at the deuces as long as you have spade draws in your range as well.
yeah. I mean, if she's got, let's say 4-5 of
But I'm
spades,
saying,
4-5 of spades, 7-8 of spades. I think that's a fair bet to represent the queen, but you've really got the flush draw.
Yeah, but okay, but then is it a value bet, or I mean, if you have a queen here, do you? I don't know. It's such a merging. It doesn't know whether it's a value bet or a bluff when it.
right,
have a-
even if you have ace queen, which is unlikely.
Just go ahead, just check and flow, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's continue.
I think it's a 2.
Could be anything. And there now check. Okay. So Bruce has all the best queens and the overpairs, right?
Yeah, best queens over pairs. Unlikely a flush draw, but possible. Just because the queen of spades is actually a bad spade for the likelihood of him having a big hands and the flush draw. Because it removes the ace queen of spades, king queen of spades, jack queen of spades options.
Yep.
It only leaves the
let's
ace
say-
king of spades. Yeah.
Let's say the 6 were the spade and the queen were the heart. Then you can have the queen of spades, ace of spades,
Yeah.
queen of spades, king of spades. So it's unlikely he has the flush draw in any way. So probably queen.
Well,
Probably
remember,
ace
Bruce
queen.
was also the initial pre-flop raiser here.
Right. That's
So,
why I'm saying it has to be big cards.
Yeah. He could have queens full, right?
yeah.
How did the flop go? She let out and he called. Yeah, he could have queens. Yeah.
So
definitely.
Joe
Good
Joe
call.
let out for 1/3 pot, a call by
You got a
by Eric.
call and then he
a
just
call,
called.
and
Yeah,
then
that
a
makes
call.
sense. Queens.
Okay.
Queens makes sense actually a lot. Ace, queen, queens.
So Joe calls.
Joanne
Eric
probably
gets
has
out
a
of the way.
flush draw. Is she
Okay.
getting pot odds for flush draw? No, because if he does have queens, you're getting, even if the flush comes, you're getting stacked.
She's slightly below pot odds. She's slightly below
No,
pot odds because
No,
at
but
9
even
outs,
if she did have pot odds,
no, at 9
getting
outs,
stacked
that's
if there's a set.
37%. So slightly
Yeah.
below.
But Kevin's saying that there's so many negative implied odds if
Right.
you're
Yeah.
drawing dead anyway. Yeah.
Maybe,
if Bruce
maybe
has
only
queens,
only if
there's-
you assume that Bruce has queens.
there's 3 combos of queens.
Yes.
Um. So yeah, even if I have the flush draw, I don't think I would need something else to go with it.
I
Fair
think
Maybe
you,
6-7 of spades.
I've seen the poker guys say, okay, if in a normal situation you have 9 outs here, if you could be up against and drawing dead, you can cut the outs in half, and is more closer to your actual price, right? So you could pretend like you have 4.5 outs instead here, and you're not getting the right price.
And you're out of position.
Yeah. I'm only continuing with quads.
I'm continuing with twos.
Yeah.
So a brick essentially on the river, and Joe shoves. We already know that Bruce is going to call because we only show hands that go to showdown.
It's
So
it's
what
a
does everyone
bluff.
have here?
It's a busted flush draw,
Okay.
or it's like 2-5, and she ran into Bruce's queens.
Well, what about 3-4 of spades? and Joanna got there.
3-4 of spades is possible, but that's one hand. And that's
don't know
basically
Joanna's
equivalent
tendencies
to
too?
that's basically equivalent to twos.
It is.
Mhm.
Joanna can do this sometimes in the hand histories. She waits for a safe river and then just bets a queen here. And I know you would never think to do that, Kevin, but that is something Joe would do.
Okay.
Okay.
Bruce is gonna call queens.
You have to call. I think with Bruce, you call with everything. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
Any
you have to call with
non-spade
all of
river, you
your-
call with everything.
Do you call with
with
ace
all of
queen?
your repairs. I think the only thing you're folding here is ace king if you're Bruce.
Oh, we're definitely folding ace king, but
Yeah.
I guess
I fold
but-
ace king
but
on the turn.
Ace queen. We gotta fold some hands. What
Yeah.
hands are we folding?
Hands that call the turn and have to fold the river are your spades. I think.
Yeah, flush draws, you're right. So probably
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
calling with basically anything. It feels very bluffy from Joanne.
Right.
So yeah, maybe you're just calling if you have ace king. Or sorry, ace queen. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
calling ace queen, you're calling aces, you're calling kings.
All right, well, let's check it out.
Maybe fold queen jack.
Maybe fold queen jack. Yeah. There it is. Queen's full.
And the two.
And the 2. You're right. Joanna could absolutely have a 2 in this spot.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, because even if you had 2-6, 2-5, you're getting stacked.
Yeah.
So the 2's not that amazing here.
She's
Also,
getting
the 7's
max
not a great
value versus
kicker.
kings, though. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, so Joe definitely tried to be cute and play a 7-2 from under the gun, and she thought she flopped a monster, and the only thing is just the only other monster that
Yeah,
beat her
that's
was with Bruce, and so
This is
yeah,
why,
that's just gonna happen.
yeah, that's pre-flop just and getting compounded, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what you want to see with those kind of hands with 7 deuce, right?
Yeah.
You want to see 7-7-7 on the flop, and that's it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
there's no good turn or river. So right, like this is kind of a situation where there's nothing good that's gonna come after this flop. You
Mhm.
don't want a spade. You don't want another big card.
You're not sure a 7 will help. You just want to make quads.
You know how I'll say how I would play this because there were like 3 or 4 players to the flop. I think I check the flop, hope someone bets, and someone probably will because it's pretty dry flop, or someone has a flush draw, or queen. So someone probably bets, and then I bomb it,
right, and just
and I
In
get
this un-
stacked. I'll
in
get
this
stacked.
unfortunate incident, you would have gotten stacked, right? It's just, but yes, I think the way to play that hand is the way you say it. In order
But
to,
again-
there's nothing good that's going to happen for the rest of the way on the board.
I'm
Yeah,
getting
I-
stacked no matter what with 7 deuce.
This is again my 3 old fashions in line of thought is I don't want a difficult situation if a spade comes.
Right.
Like if a spade comes and then they move in, now what are you doing? Ugh.
Right.
It's tough. Yeah, sometimes you just want to make the hand simpler, right?
Agreed. All right.
That way you
next
can multi-table.
Yeah,
hand.
it might not be the most plus EV play, but saving your brain power, there's a lot to say about that.
All right, we got Waga on the button here with Diz and Simone in the blinds, full table and 9. Jay Dizzler, you are in this hand. Let's see what happens.
I'm folding. I'm almost always folding. Yeah. See? I play 20% of my hands, maximum.
All right. Pretty much raised to 2, and we got a bunch of callers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the 5 to the flop on a pretty dry board.
This is like the driest dry you can get.
All right. So we got dark flop. We got Dave Lopez coming in here for 6 into a 1075 pot, and Merv 3 bets. 3-bet raises that.
Okay. So I think, yeah, buddy, his hand's the most interesting. I think dark flop is just playing straight up. I think maybe pocket aces, pocket kings, pocket queens, pocket jacks. There's just so many hands that should just play straight up like this.
Ace 10 could be just a straight up ace 10 that he called for $2.
I'll say, well, no, but he raised it. Didn't he raise it pre-flop?
Oh, you're right. Yes, you're right.
So maybe you raise pre-flop in that position with ace 10 suited,
10
but
suited.
I'm not raising pre-flop with I'm probably not even playing ace 10. I'm not
Unless it was
playing
suited?
king 10. I'm definitely not playing king 10 or queen 10. Maybe if they were suited, but so probably it's aces, kings, queens, jacks.
Okay.
But yay, buddy. Oh man, so many, because he's capped, so he doesn't have aces, kings, queens. He could have a lot of fun hands though. He could have all the sets. Maybe the 10s. I would discount the 10s, but he could definitely have the 7s, the 4s, so that's 6. So let's give him one pair of 10s. So there's like 7 nutted hands. Maybe he slow plays some of those nutted hands.
But if he's got any of the sets, he's not raising it unless it's a set of 4s. I think that's
okay. I disagree.
So here's my argument. So if they were deeper stacked, I would agree that he wouldn't slow play 10s or slow play 4s or 7s. But let's say you have 7s. I think you can call 6. Now the pot's going to be 22, right? Or 23. And so dark flop is going to bet what? Half pot again, maybe more. So that's going to be more like 12. So $12 or $15, and then you can jam.
I'm just gonna say, yeah, buddy has 10-7 of clubs. I just already know it. I know Merv so well. I know. So Merv absolutely
but I'm
raises.
saying like how but let's say you're gonna play all these monsters, you're gonna start pushing them really hard.
Yeah.
Then you gotta have a bunch of bluffs also that you're bluffing with.
You have to have 8, 9, 5, 6.
9, 8 of diamonds, 9, 8 of spades, 9, 8 of hearts. Okay, those are 3 sets that I would do.
Are you talking about dark flop or are you talking about yeah? Buddy?
I'm talking about yay, buddy. What
I think he can have all the 8, 9s and all the 5, 6s.
I think
he doesn't have to have suited ones.
Oh no, but I'm saying what do you think is optimal? What would you bluff with? What are your bluff hands here? Because there's just a lot of bluff hands. I think if you're bluffing all non-suited,
oh I see,
9 8s and all non-suited.
I see. You're restricting the
6s.
combos, right?
Right. Yeah. I don't think you can bluff with all your straight draws.
Okay. So for non-GTO people, this is what Doug Polk calls constructing a range, right?
Yeah.
You want to have X number of combos that you want to be bluffs and X number of combos that you want to be value. I do think Merv has a lot of 10-7s and sets, and I do believe he does cold call with 10s here. I wouldn't discount a 10. But yeah, constructing a bluffing range would be 8, 9 suited, 5, 6 suited. What do you think about hands like,
So that's, but only here's the fun part. Only if the suited is hearts, diamonds, or spades.
Or spades,
right?
Because you have
then
backdoors.
you have a redraw.
Correct.
What about ace 9 of hearts type hands, right? You have a
Ace 9 of hearts.
Yeah, you have the 9 blocker and you have backdoor.
I would
hearts.
be more. It's more advantageous maybe to have queen 9.
Yeah. Okay.
Or king 9.
So
yeah, I would throw some of those in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So there's a bunch of interesting flushy and.
See, this is fantastic, Jay, because so far we've been having episodes where it's me, you, and Scott who just know the players in and out for 2 years, right?
Yep.
And now we have Kevin Kane, who's like a GTO expert, who's seeing it from like, okay, I don't know this person's tendencies, but this is how you can construct a range.
Yeah.
And I really like this. This is really good.
So he gets a call.
So dark flop calls.
So dark flop is stuck calling with the aces, and then the ace came, which is awesome.
You know, well,
So
you don't know he
awesome
has
for him.
aces, but yeah.
All right.
And
so
if
that's
he,
the ace. So
if
let's
he
see-
had
let's see-
kings or queens, which he also calls with, or jacks,
Yeah.
now he might be able to get away from the hand.
All right.
But it should be
The
pointed
action.
out, now we have a complete rainbow flop, rainbow on board. There's no flush draws. So why is dark betting? What happened?
Why is he betting? What could he only have if he's betting?
He only has ace 10 of diamonds there. Like pretty much.
No, but if you're gonna stack someone, it's hard to stack someone who's on a straight draw by betting out.
No, I mean, it's a bad play.
Okay,
but,
yeah.
But we're trying to think, what would a person like dark flop
Yeah.
do?
What would induce dark flop to actually make a bet here versus
don't-
just checking? Because if he has a monster, let's say he has a monster of aces, what would actually get him to bet here versus just like trying to get Merv to just hang himself?
There shouldn't be
Like, there's all
anything
these
there.
interesting- There's all these interesting, like, straight draws that we were talking about, the 5-6s and the 8-9s. Now, none of them got the flush draw, so that's going to reduce the number of times that Buddy
Yep.
might be bluffing. But if you have the aces, I just think you'll wait and let him hang himself. And it's really great if he's got pocket 4s, pocket 7s, pockets 10s, because he's still going to hang himself.
Yeah, I think with your entire value range, you check here
Yeah.
with as dark flop.
Which means
And
you
then-
never bluff.
It's never a bluff. And if you're bluffing, why are you betting like 1/4 or whatever?
If you have any of the sets here, you're checking this turn.
Yeah, there's no reason to blast off
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
I agree. All right. So obviously, Merv puts them all in, and we know that
Aces over 7s.
Dave is going to call.
I think it's ace 10 versus a set here. Or
Aces over 7s.
there's sevens. 7-10.
Wow.
7-10 of clubs. 7-10 of clubs. I know Merv better than the entire world.
Wow.
Okay. So when you said he's got,
I need
10-7
access
of-
to your notes.
when you said he has 10-7 of clubs, I almost lost it and blew the.
Well, it's either 10-7 of diamonds or 10-7 of clubs, right? Because the heart and the spade are there. So I
the
said,
fact that you picked clubs, and I already
Yeah,
know
that's
how
what
this
makes
hand
it
was gonna
fun.
fall. I already knew how this hand was going to turn out. I was like, holy shit. Nice.
I do that as a parlor trick sometimes. I'm like, you have 2 red jacks just for fun. And if they happen to be right, you look good. So
So I think we
Uh,
all agree that Dave potentially cost himself some money by betting out on the turn versus just checking and letting Merv, because I think with the ace, Merv regardless would have gone in all in, and
Yeah,
he
maybe
potentially could have
slows
just called,
down.
and he potentially could have just called that 15 bet versus shoving.
Yeah, but like Buddy could also have 10 ace.
Yeah.
Which is even better for you to just slow play the 7. You just slow
Yeah.
play 7.
I just don't like the bet at all. But he might, you know what? Dark flop just called, Buddy's raise, right? Dark flop could have just put them all in for the next $13, right? Or
Yeah.
no, who had
Yeah.
who covered? I forget.
Merv had dark flop covered. So
Okay.
all right.
All right. It ended up being kind of a cooler,
Yeah.
but there was a lot of interesting things to say about that.
No, I don't think that this is cooler. I would never get that many chips in with the 7-10.
On the turn, what are you doing? Yeah.
With
Yeah,
it
that's true.
on the turn,
Yeah. Ace is like the worst card in the deck for you, I think. And he leads out at
I'm
you.
checking. I need
Well,
to
he
start
lied
checking
out at you.
because I have all these bluffs. See, I have this, we talked about it. I have all these bluffs,
Yeah.
all these potential flush draws,
Yeah.
right?
right.
And I have all of these straight draws.
And
doubling
none of the
straight
back doors
draws.
came in at all. Yeah.
And then when a terrible card like the ace of clubs comes out, I have to basically shut down all those bluffs.
Yeah.
I can't continuation with any of those bluffs. So there have to be good hands that I'm also shutting down with.
Right.
Right. And that's a perfect hand. A 2 pair. It's a great hand to slow down my betting with.
So you're just calling his 15 donk lead. Then Remember he
I would
led out
call
on the
it,
turn.
yeah, I'd call the donk lead.
Yeah, and probably folding rivers, I think. I don't know.
Probably folding rivers, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
All right.
Unless the case 10, I mean, unless the 10.
And
I
yeah,
might
unless-
also just jam the flop. So
Yeah, I might. It's a
Well, you
vulnerable
have all
ass
the
hand.
blockers,
Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
got to remember. So when you have the 10-7, you're blocking your opponent from having a set of sevens and a set of tens.
That's why I thought
There's only
That's what I was
there's-
thinking in
there's
terms of
only one
coolers.
pair of pocket sevens left.
you had the
There's
case
only one
7.
pair of pocket tens left.
Right.
Yeah.
There's actually, this funny thing is it's more likely as pocket fours because there's
Exactly.
3 combos of that left.
I mean, it's interesting you say that because there was only one combination of sevens left and just happened to that dark flop happen.
That's the cooler aspect I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, this is good.
All right, last hand.
We should have 5 of us on now on the videos.
All right, we got another full table. Dark flop on the button. Stig and
You know, I've just
Dubai.
started betting like 2 and 2.5 rather than 1.5.
Say that again.
So I just start betting 2 and 1.5 because 1.5 doesn't it doesn't thin out the field at all. You got to
Yeah.
like 2, 2.5 to like
Yeah, I mean, the
Well,
standard is
narrow
like
people's ranges and
you
stuff.
3x plus the number of limpers is the standard, right?
Yeah, you know, otherwise some people just hang around with anything like 7, 10 suited, you know. You never know.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, you look at our site, and even though it's a 25-50, 25-cent, 50-cent lines, it plays more. It definitely plays more like a 1-2 table pre-flop.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I think Buster and Bruce made that adjustment. I think they've been raising slightly bigger. I've been having trouble trying to balance that, so I just still been keeping to the regular formula.
all right. So we got a hand here. We got Buster. Jay, you're in another hand here, and
So Buster raised,
yep, Buster
JU
raised,
called.
called,
Dark
and
flop
button calls,
called.
dark flop calls.
Okay,
don't know
so
dark
this
flop's
is a
game
good
that
flop
much.
for Buster.
Yep, he has all the advantages right here. He should be c-betting his entire range here.
All of it?
Yeah, I think so.
What
I don't know.
would
Yeah,
if
you're
it
gonna have
were
to have
like
some
king
checks.
4-4, or if it, yeah, you know what? I think you're right. Yeah, I think 2 overs, 2 big cards you do.
Just
I think
because
yeah,
your
it's a little
range hits
tricky.
it
It's a
so
little
hard.
tricky because there's 2 players behind them.
That's true. I guess you could have some checks here, but then what are your value checks? Like 2 black aces? I don't know.
Well, your values are pocket queens, pocket kings. Or do you shut those down?
No, I think you have to continue with your big value hands.
I think
But
you have to continue with pocket kings, pocket queens, given that there are 2 diamonds on the board.
Okay,
So-
this is maybe so I'll agree. I would continue all queens because someone could have a king and they might not want, they might try and get all their chips in before another diamond comes out. Like someone could have like king queen.
Mhm.
If I have kings though, I do want like I want some really good hand that I'm not betting with.
See, I think Jason checks kings here.
You're right. Maybe I'm just
You
betting.
saying
all
I
of it.
check?
I take it back.
J1 checks kings here, right?
Yes. I would absolutely, probably 95% of the times, if I had kings and I were Buster here, I would check it, and I know that would set off some alarm bells for some certain folks who know my game well.
Well, but the reason you need to have like a hand like pocket kings, you got to figure out what your really strong hand is that you're going to check here. Is
Yeah.
because if you check, everyone knows you don't have a hand.
Yeah.
You're out of the hand. You might as well fold because everyone knows you have king jack or you have ace jack of clubs, and
Right.
you're just done. Right.
I might see
So-
bet ace jack of clubs, but go ahead. Yeah.
So if you check the kings, then at least you have at least then you can check other hands. You don't have to bet with everything.
You can add like six bad combo checks too.
Maybe you can check jacks and tens and not feel like you're giving up.
Right.
People still have to at least respect you later in the hand. If you raise up later.
All right, let's play it out.
But he's gonna bet 3. I was way off. What am I cold? Okay.
Buster puts out a half pot. Jay, you cold call, and dark flop comes up with a little more than a min raise.
That is a very small bet.
Yeah.
The 6, that's a very small bet.
Yeah, I don't yeah. I
So
mean,
let's see
it's,
how it turns out. Well, let's
I will say this about SJG, and that is their small raises on the flop tend to be capped to one pairs, trying to see where they're at, kind of thing.
Mhm. That's
Yeah.
fair.
So right now I'm thinking dark flop has like king 10, king jack, not a draw. I think he would just call with a draw. And I fold to the 350. That's how nitty I am.
Oh yeah, well, what did you call that you then folded the 350?
I think I must have had a queen X hand, like, and seeing what Buster would do on the turn if dark flop folded.
Right, but it's still 350. Queen X, I would call with Queen X.
Well, then now you know how nitty J2 is here.
That's how nitty I am. I just feel like once Buster calls, I don't know what I want to see on the turn. Like if I have queen jack, I don't know what I want to see.
A 10, a jack.
I don't know. I think those get me in trouble. But maybe.
I mean, I
Okay.
would fold maybe Queen 6. but
Yeah,
you
I'm
don't
never
have
called.
Queen 6.
Yeah, he's never having queen 6 here in the cutoff.
You're probably right. You probably have Queen 10.
Yeah.
But I think a 10 or jack.
So 350 to call for a 1975 pot. Yeah, I should be calling most of my range, but that's how nitty I'm playing.
All right.
Because
So-
here's the thing. So here's the thing. Actually, can we go back real quick? So here's why I'm calling with queens. I just kind of realized it because I need to call with some hands because there are worse hands that you could have that you're gonna
Mhm.
fold.
Yeah.
Like pocket 7s,
Right.
right? You're
See,
gonna call
that's-
pocket 7s. Or
I-
sorry,
I-
you're gonna fold your pocket 7s, pocket 6s, pocket 5s, and you would play all those just like this.
Yeah.
You call the flop. They bet a half, the lead puts a half pot bet out.
Mhm.
And then you just kind of call with your 6s and 7s and see if everyone slows down. And then when they don't, then you fold your 6s and 7s and 8s.
Right.
So I got to call with something. So I would call with the queens. I would call with queen random.
Okay. I think I call with my king X hands. But then I would also king. I think I can call with king X hands too. There's no reason for me to raise with king X, like king jack there, right?
Oh no.
No.
So I could call with king jack. Type hands, but yeah,
All right.
I exploitatively just folded there.
Turn is a brick. We get a check from Buster.
Plays and flow, good.
Well, Jay just late. He's frustrated because he folded his pocket 3s.
You can see the steam coming out of Jay.
And then we get a 1050 bet from dark flop.
Wow.
And then Buster comes in with a 4x raise.
Wow.
So wait, he checked this turn?
Yes. So this is a check raise, a 4x check raise.
Yeah, so he let dark flop continue. He checked to the razor again on the turn. Now it's check raising him.
I think this is very good polarizing bet.
Yeah, I think Buster is good enough here to have kings, pocket queens, and hands like 10 jack of clubs.
Right. Or diamonds. There's a lot of bluff hands here.
Yeah,
Right.
there's
Like
a ton of
a
bluff
lot of
hands.
really good, like ace jack of diamonds. Something like that. Yeah.
That's how good. I don't know how you feel about
Yeah,
Buster's game, Kevin, but I think Buster's one of the best.
I have to stop drinking my my 4th old fashioned when I'm in a pot with Buster. So I do have to pay attention.
He's gonna be in here next week. I want to see what he thinks about things.
Yeah.
So obviously we know this hand goes to a showdown. So we know that Dave is going to call.
So queen king calls a flush draw, nutted flush draw.
All right.
Yeah, yes. I think dark flop. It's so loose. He might have something like king jack or king 10 here.
Okay.
I know you're
Ooh.
not supposed to, but he might.
So I'm not going to reveal the card yet, but the diamond hits the board. What do we think? What do we think Buster and dark flop have?
Well, it's an unfortunate diamond if Buster had the ace jack of diamonds,
Yep.
because I think dark flop has 2 pair. He might have got a queen king. I don't know.
It's
I-
tough. I don't know enough about Dark Flop's game. And Buster can have missed clubs, he can have diamonds, and he can have all the boats and quads here. Yeah.
I think
All
this queen was good for dark flop.
Let's
It could
check
be,
it
yeah. There it is. Wow. King 6. Told you. I told you he's so loose he can have something like King 10 or King Jack, and that was giving him too much credit, actually. And the raise on the flop was, I have top pair, let me see where I'm at, right?
But the 4x check raise by Buster on the turn on the combo draw.
Getting correctly called by King 6, by the way. Look, Kevin's already to close his
correct call. I mean,
I
if
ended
the
up
cards
in
are
this
face up.
results
No,
bias.
is it even? Is it even a correct call? I guess you block a 6.
So, I mean, he's ahead when he calls. I mean, if you're thinking of terms of ahead, look, Kevin's going to turn off his Zoom. Look, he,
Yeah.
can't believe it.
But here's the thing: when you call, you're calling saying, "I think you're on a draw,"
Yeah.
which he's right. But this is a great combo draw. This was a great bluff actually by Buster. I think that this
Yeah.
is being missed.
He's the man,
That was
dude.
a great. So he raised it pre-flop with 2-5 diamonds. Okay. I think this turn re-raise by Buster is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
But then dark flop is calling.
And I hate
Saying,
that call.
I think you're on a flush draw. That's it.
Yeah.
I hate the call by Dark Flop because he, Buster could have King Queen there. He could have, just any king is
Right.
with the kicker better than 6. I absolutely hate the call.
Ace, king,
by
king,
dark-
jack,
by
king
dark.
10.
But okay, say Buster's hand is face up and you actually see that he has deuce 5 of diamonds.
Mhm.
What?
And
go
like he
back.
accidentally
Let's see
flipped it
what's
over.
The math? What's the math? Can we see the math? Can we go back?
Yeah, so Buster has 9 outs plus 6 minus 1, 14 outs, 28%.
No,
I think-
no, because you're double counting because like the
Yeah, that's why I
ace of diamonds, you're double counting the ace of diamonds.
Oh, I subtracted 1 instead of 2, right? Okay,
You
so
subtracted 1, you need to subtract
2,
2, 3 because there's a 6 of hearts. If
Nine.
you're looking at it face up.
4, 3, 13. 13 times 2, 26. So in actuality, Dark Flop had 76% equity.
27 and a half.
Yeah. So he had Dark Flop has like 72% actual equity in the hand. I mean,
Oh, Buster does.
No, Dark Flop does at the turn.
Yeah, if the
Buster-
cards are
Buster
face
only
up
has
on the
20
turn, Buster
there's
still
what?
has about a 28%, 27% out.
There's 9
yeah.
plus both ends except for 1, 2, 3. So there's 9, 10, 14.
Yeah,
I'm trying to find some.
So you're right. I mean, dark flop hands up. Dark flop can call,
Yeah.
right? But if you're
74%
not,
equity.
if you're saying there's a 50-50 chance that there's a combo draw, or there's the other 50% of the time, I'm completely lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is Dark Flop saying that Buster absolutely doesn't have a king.
Yeah.
This is cowboy poker right here. That's
Yes,
what this
you're
is.
right. You're right. So this is I would say the
Wild
complete
West.
opposite of GTO.
Yeah. This is Wild West. I don't think
As
you
my
got.
gut says, and he was right.
I'm balancing my compliments with critiques. Is what I'm doing.
Okay, so
He's
here's
right.
the crazy thing too. This
Okay.
hand, this wasn't a late at night hand either. This was an early session for us.
Wow.
Buster came out swinging.
You know what happens? I get the text message that the game started, and I'm like, cool. And then I gotta finish the thing I'm doing, and then I gotta like do something with the kids, and then I get my computer and I get on there, and it's already completely full, and there's like 3 people waiting, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, I have to get on at 7:45 now just to get on. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, this is exactly why you guys saw probably the other day that I put the message out to the Facebook page. Should we increase the tables to 10
Yeah.
to get an extra player in or not? So something to think about.
oh,
So
that'll
for
slow
all,
it
for all
down.
you for everyone who's
That'll
watching,
slow it down a lot.
it does
I don't know
slow
if
it
that's
down.
worth it.
But again, I do, again, trying to make sure the people who want to play can get in and play. So, but just
Well,
food
so
for
there's
thought for
let me
everyone watching.
propose this though. There's another way of thinking about it though. If you actually had fewer people per table, because if you increase it to 10, you're getting 1 more person. But if you had fewer, you have those players who will play 2 tables, and then you have the players who just want to play 1 table.
Yeah. What if we have 8-handers?
Yeah, that was the other thought. Should I go down to 8, and then that puts another 2, possibly 3 people into the waiting list, and then possibly, if we have multiple tables, that could be another table of 6 that starts up at another.
I prefer 8 over 10 and 9 any day, personally.
Yeah, I think you get more hands, more interesting, more action.
Yeah. Maybe I go to 8. We'll see. Again, there just wasn't enough feedback for people in the Facebook posts, so I just kind of left it as is for now. So
well, so yeah, because usually I'll get there and have the table of 9, and then there's like 4 people on the wait list. So if it's a table of 8, then you'd have 5 people on the wait list. You could probably start another table with those 5 people.
Yeah, it's interesting. It is interesting for those who are still watching. It is interesting to see how it is slowly creeping back from the normal 8 o'clock start time. And it's gotten to be like around like 7:50, and it's even creeping now a little even earlier than 7:50 now.
Yeah, a lot of us are going to be on at 6:30 in this.
I would, like I said, we've got some players who play from the East Coast, from the Midwest, and I wouldn't even mind seeing some tables start up at 6 p.m. for those folks if we get enough people in those areas to start up early. So we'll see.
So, all right, this was awesome.
All
Kevin,
good. This was a lot of fun,
man.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Kevin, I hope you enjoyed yourself.
That was fun. No, I like it.
Cool.
I like it.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
I revealed all my secrets. One, I'm definitely not paying attention to your tendencies. And 2, half the time I have a really strong hand, half the time I have a complete air.
That's good. That's the best way to play at a new table for sure.
Yeah, when you don't know anybody.
Yeah, dude, you slaughter them, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes.
All righty. All right. Well, thanks for joining, Kevin. Thanks for joining. We'll definitely have you on a future session as well, because this was awesome. And we'll do this again, and we'll see this video shortly posted to the channel. Take care, everyone.
Thanks. Tons of fun. Take care.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys at the table.